Alright, so how I accidentally quit smoking weed. So, I stubbed my toe. I stubbed my toe so bad that I thought I broke my toe. And, when I smoke weed, which I've been doing every day, all day, for like over a decade, I get a little weird about a couple of things. One of the things I get weird about is, like my body. Like if something's wrong with it. Makes me feel like panicky, right? So, I stubbed my toe and pretty much had to stop smoking weed. Because it all started with just one day. I was gonna not do it for this one day as I tried to get my toe to feel better and just make sure I didn't have a panic attack. So why would you have a panic attack from that, you know? So it all started a few years ago. I got this motorcycle. It's called a Buell Blast. I was out on a joyride, having fun. And all of a sudden, there's this huge pothole. And I put my brakes on, skidded, tried to avoid this pothole, you know, just like human nature kind of a deal. Went, and the bike went sideways, toppled over the bike, and banged up my hip, messed up the bike, really freaked me out. There was this truck behind me, and he stopped, thank God he saw what had happened and stopped. And he was super freaked out. And so he basically came over and is like, "You scared the shit out of me. You scared the shit out of yourself," is what he said. So I went home on the bike. I had enough, adrenaline was pumping. Got myself home. Was all riled up. Was talking to my mom. I was like, you wouldn't believe this. Like, I just got in a motorcycle accident. Like, I just crashed my motorcycle. And she's like, what? What are you talking about? You know? And I show her my hip and I tell her the story and it's just wild, you know? And so, then I went and smoked some weed till I calmed down and just process things. And then I'm sitting there and all of a sudden I start having these kind of intrusive thoughts, you know, like, what if I have internal bleeding, you know? What if I broke something? Like, what if I got a concussion? I had, not really, well, I actually think I hit my head. I had a helmet on, but just barely scraped my head a little, the helmet at least. At the time, I didn't know this, so I'm freaking out. And it just got worse and worse, and it turned into a straight-up panic attack. And, I went to lay down, just trying to, calm down from the whole thing. And, all of a sudden, I'm trying to get on my bed, trying to lay down, and the whole world just went weird, like gravity was pushing me downward, really freaking out, you know. Got off the bed, called for help. My mom was in the other room, and I guess I had a seizure, right? So for me, I just kind of was like, I need a minute. And then I went away, you know, I was just gone. Had this weird nothingness, you know, it was like nothingness. So, when I come to, my mom's like, you just had a seizure. and I immediately threw up. It was like Neo in the Matrix when he goes to the real world for the first time. And she's like, you just threw up. Or I'm sorry. I knew I threw. She's like, you just had a seizure, you know? And it's insane, you know? And so from that day forward, you know, I'm okay. Nothing, you know, haven't had a seizure since. It was completely connected to that accident. And ever since that day, I kind of realized I can't smoke weed if I'm having any kind of like bodily injury or problem, you know? A headache is different, or like, you know, something like that. So, flash forward to a few months ago, I come down with what I'm pretty sure was the Noro virus, and start having panic attacks again. Like, whoa, the street's all black right there. So I'm really putting it together. I'm like, okay, every time I'm sick or something, or hurt myself, if I smoke weed, I've got like at least 50-50 chance of just having like a panic attack, you know? So, flash forward to a couple months ago, maybe like 1 month ago, stubbed my toe. Hey pups, a cute dog there. I stubbed my toe so bad that I'm pretty sure I broke my toe. I know from people telling me, like, there's not really much you can do for a broken toe. Like, I don't have health insurance or anything. I'm not trying to go to the doctor unless I have to. And knowing that if I did, like, all they would do is just tell me I have a broken toe and charge me a bunch of money. I'm just like, I'm gonna tough this out, you know? So I decide I'm not smoking weed because I don't want a panic attack, you know? Halfway through the day, I realized that I'm actually having like a decent time. I gotta switch. Halfway through the day, I realized this ain't so bad. And made it through to the night. Decided to smoke right before bed. And so for the next week, that's what I do. I just smoke like one joint before bed, you know? And all of a sudden, it's like life kind of opened up in this way. Like I felt way more like, I don't know, kind of a cheesy term, but like I felt like a lot more emotionally available, you know? And remembering more, and like talking to people, and remembering the very fine details of what they had said to me, and just like little things like that. And it's like life is literally just easier, you know? And I thought, wow, this is really nice, you know? So I was doing that for a couple weeks where I'd just smoke at the end of the day. And it was crazy at first, like, lights looked weird, like, my stomach got all locked up. It was like, then I'd smoke at the end of the day and my stomach would just go into crazy gurgle mode. Like, it was insane. It was like shockingly similar to like how people describe getting off of much harder, you know, drugs. It was shockingly similar. I've never gotten into hard drugs. I've just always smoked like weed and cigarettes. And I drink coffee, I guess, if you want to count that as a drug, which probably should, because it's highly addictive. So I've survived this. Like, it wasn't even surviving because it was pleasurable, but like, I make it this whole week. And it's nice, you know? But then what happens is it was like my tolerance for weed just like completely bottomed out, you know? And all of a sudden, I only need to smoke like 1 or 2 hits of the joint. Like, I was smoking the entire joint and being finally nice and stoned, you know? All of a sudden, I'm smoking like 1 or 2 hits, and it's like earth-shattering. It's like my whole world is... It was almost like tripping, except worse. Like, because if you've ever done like acid or mushrooms, like, it's insane, but it comes with this kind of jolt of positivity and happiness. So you're experiencing like these insane psychedelic things, but you feel so happy and positive that it's like really nice, you know? But when you get like marijuana to that point, it's like you're experiencing these crazy, like I was having these crazy thoughts like, oh, what if the cops come knock on my door? Like, what do I do? Just like all this dumb stuff that like didn't even make any sense, you know? I gotta switch hands again. And I don't know, it really got me thinking, like, because I live in a state where you can get your medical card for weed, and like basically you have to have what they call, ironically, pun not intended, I suppose, they call it a chronic illness. If you have some kind of chronic illness, you can get your card. So I have scoliosis of the spine. My lower spine tilts to the left, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's never going to get better. It's always going to bring me pain and problems. That's what they define as a chronic, illness. So, crap, what was I even saying? What that was? I walk south and I forget what I'm saying. I'll walk north more. Too windy to walk south. So, I don't know. I kind of think that the marijuana industry is kind of messed up. Like, it's a sham. It's a bunch of crap. Like, it's a bunch of bullshit. Like, we don't need this stuff. Like, does it help me with my back pain? I don't fucking know. Probably not. Maybe it does. I have no idea. If it does, it's so vague that it doesn't even really matter, It's helped me with headaches. Yes, I can attest that it has helped me with headaches. Well, a lot of the times, it hasn't. It's helped me with nausea. It's helped me with sleep. Like, these are very real things, And I don't mean to put it down, because, like, a lot of people do it, A lot of people do it, and they're not going to stop. A lot of my friends do it, and I'm going to go ahead and let them, I'm not trying to, like, badmouth it. I'm not trying to, like, put it down or put people down that do it. But in my experience, like, think about it. Like, your tolerance goes up and up and up. You get your red card, your medical card. You're buying weed. At first, you're buying an eighth. The eighth lasts you a week. All of a sudden, the eighth lasts you like 1 day, You're buying ounces, $100 ounces. All of a sudden, you're buying an ounce a week. So, like, they're making so much money off of us, It's ridiculous how much money they make. Like, I literally have seen my entire town go from just this nice little sort of like military town to this fucking shithole. It's a shithole now. Like, there's like crime's way up. Like, there's homeless people fucking everywhere. And what are they doing? They're smoking weed. They're just smoking weed all day. Got to put my pants up. Anyways, loads of good people smoke weed. Loads of bad people smoke weed. Loads of people who do really hard drugs smoke weed. And vice versa. Like, but what I noticed kind of about the whole thing is that they're taking advantage of us. They're making it feel like you need this stuff. And they're making it over time like you need a bunch of it. And it's not true. Like, if you really care about the medicinal properties of marijuana, you could smoke like 2 hits a day, okay? And get all the medicinal stuff. No problem, you know? And then what would happen to the industry? Like, they wouldn't make any money anymore. And when the industry stops making money, like, the whole thing doesn't work. It's not worth their time. Like, the employees aren't making anything. And the whole thing collapses. So, it's kind of like cigarettes. Like, they know cigarettes are addictive. They know nicotine's addictive. So, once you make a customer out of a cigarette smoker, you've probably got like a lifelong customer. These people are going to buy more and more and more all the time. And weed's the same way. Like, it's not addictive. But, and I really do feel that it's not addictive because I was able to put it down pretty much no problem. Like, the first week I wouldn't even say that the first week was hard. I would just say that the first week was strange. It was just a very strange week, you know? But it wasn't bad. And at times it almost started to feel like the whole high was the fact that I wasn't high, you know? If that makes any sense. So, I guess my take on the whole thing is if you've turned into this kind of person that's just smoking weed all day, every day, maybe think about stepping back from that a little, because what your brain, what your body, like what your chemistry stuff has done is it's basically just shut those receptors down. So you're just wasting it. Like, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, you're incredibly stoned, way more than you need to be, and you don't even realize it, and it's like not doing anything to you anymore, you know? Like, it's not worth it. These companies, the industry, they want to take your money. They want to take as much of your money as they can. They want you to think that you have an illness. They want you to think that the weed is the only thing that's going to help you. Because that's how they get money. You know, that's how they clean up. Don't let them. It's a fraud. It's a scam. It's a sham. Don't let them. Live your life. You want to smoke weed? Do it. But just think about this one key phrase. It's a phrase you've heard many times, I'm sure. Everyone has. It's one of those phrases that you've heard so many times that it doesn't seem to even hold any weight. It's like it doesn't mean anything. But the phrase is this. The term is this. Everything in moderation. Now really think about that. Everything in moderation. Like, what does that mean? It means if you want to have some beers, have a couple beers. And then you've experienced beer. The next day, you don't need to have a couple beers again. You don't need to do that. That's not moderation, you know? You don't have a couple beers, and then the next day have a couple beers, and then 2 weeks later you're like, man, these beers, they're not doing much to me. I know, I'll switch to whiskey, you know? Don't do that. Like, just enjoy things in moderation. Now, me personally, what I'm working on is trying to get cigarettes back to that level. Because I'll tell you, cigarettes are way more addictive. Like, my journey trying to quit cigarettes is looking nothing like the other journey I just described to you. It's like very addictive, very hard to stop smoking cigarettes. You get agitated, you feel sick, you've got a headache. But just think about it, like, it's kind of like a cage. Like, you've gotten yourself into a trap on accident. Life isn't supposed to be that difficult. You need food, you need water, you need shelter, you need company. That's it. That's all the stuff you need, right? So don't let yourself add to that list. Don't let yourself need marijuana, need alcohol, need cigarettes. Everything in moderation. Now I got lucky. All I had to do is stub my toe. And by the way, my toe's fine. It's still, my nail is still black. Like, it's like half of my nail looks like I painted it dark purple or something. I don't know how long it's going to take to fix it. It's been like a month. But I don't think I actually did break it. It was same kind of around a week that I was limping around and then my toe hurt really bad. But after that, it was fine. So, just be strong. Remember everything in moderation. And whatever you need to do to really understand that phrase, try to. Because it's the key phrase. Like, it means everything. Alright, well, I wish you luck.